So UFOs are no longer considered to be a conspiracy theory. In fact, our own government admits they exist. Our government calls them UAPs, or Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. But what are they? Are they physical or are they spiritual? Let me tell you a story about why I believe they are spiritual beings and what happened to me. So you don't want to miss this one. So this story takes place back in 2011, early 2012, somewhere around that time period, when I lived in St. Augustine, Florida. Now, those of you who don't know about St. Augustine, Florida, it's one of the oldest towns. I believe it is the oldest city in America. It was founded in, I think, 1565. There was wars, and the Spanish and the British fought each other, in the 1600s. Basically, it's a very spiritually charged place. There's been many wars, many deaths, a lot of history in that area. So I was living there at the time. I was living on this place called Davis Shores, which is literally a modern neighborhood built on top of an old battleground. There's hundreds of people who died literally where my house was built. So I was renting a house there, and at the time, I didn't know anything about Jesus, about the Bible, about anything like that. I knew, spirituality and New Ageism and all that type of stuff. And there's something about spirituality, they always like to link in UFOs and aliens and stuff like that into it. And, a lot of people, they kind of eat that stuff up because it kind of goes along with itself, right? Well, around that time, I was getting into this guy named Dr. Stephen Greer. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with his work or not, but Dr. Stephen Greer is a spiritual UFO guru, I guess you could call him. He claims to have had contact with aliens and UFOs telepathically throughout his whole life. He says anybody can do it. Basically, all you need to do is meditate and try and focus your attention onto these things. And he even came up with this program, this course called the CE5 Initiative. Now, CE5 stands for Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Now, there's Close Encounters of the First Kind, which I believe is seeing a UFO. Second kind, I think, is coming close to one. Third kind is maybe interacting with it. Fourth kind is when they take you. And fifth kind is when you initiate the contact. When you go out and say, hey, UFO, come talk to me. And that's what I did. So here's the story. So one night I wanted to contact aliens. I wanted to do his CE5 initiative and see if it worked. And I've been actually doing it for a while at this point, and nothing had happened. And basically the process, it involves, what you do is you meditate, you go into a meditative state, and you focus all of your mind energy and everything you have and like your attention, everything, on trying, basically projecting it out into the universe, looking for UFOs and trying to basically telepathically connect yourself with them and say, hey, I'm here, come show me, come make an appearance, let me know that you're listening, let me know that you're watching. And that's all this CE5 initiative is, really, is you meditate, you get into a meditative state, and you telepathically communicate with beings that live outside of our solar system, right? Now, this particular night it wasn't anything different than most nights. I was doing it just like regular. I was meditating. I was trying to get myself into that mind state, which is actually, it's a pretty hard thing to do, but I achieved it the one night. And it was pretty weird. I don't even know, I wasn't sure that anything happened. I kind of felt, I don't even know how to describe it. I wasn't sure anything happened. And when I was done with the meditation session, I went outside and started smoking a cigarette. And I'm looking around, looking outside. And it was at that moment that I saw it. Now, this is the only time, like I said before, that it's undeniable that it was a UFO. So I'm smoking a cigarette, I'm looking out, and probably 50 to 100 feet above my house, which is just a small one-story house I was renting at the time, there was this glowing orb. Now, it was probably about the size of a small car, like a Volkswagen or something, and it was there. It was glowing, and it was moving probably 5 to 10 miles an hour. It looked like it was pulsating. It was getting big and small, and it was orange. It had the weirdest glow to it, and it kind of just moved away slowly. It made no noise, it hovered, and it kind of just moved. It just went over my house and out of sight. But that was the exact moment that I knew it was a UFO. There is no denying what that was. It was so close, and I probably could have hit it with a rock if I would have thrown it, because it wasn't that far at all. And you know, I don't know. I didn't really get any like creepy feelings or anything. I didn't get any, oh, it's a UFO. I just kind of watched it go by, smoking a cigarette, and was like, oh, okay, cool. Wow, that's cool. So that was it. That was the time that I summoned a UFO. Now, it wasn't special. Nothing crazy happened. I'm just sitting there smoking a cigarette and, oh, look, there it is. There's the UFO. I tell my friends about it later, like, hey, I saw a UFO, dude. I saw a UFO. And they're like, okay, cool. I mean, it's not, wow, cool. I saw a glowing orb in the sky, right? I mean, looking back on it now, you know, it was extremely dangerous. I put myself in a very vulnerable spot, contacting these entities who happened to listen to what I was, you know, asking them, and they showed themselves to me. I mean, there's nothing else that could have been. It was a glowing orb floating above my house. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I mean, this thing, it's like plasma almost. It's like orangish. The middle of it was like dark orange, and then there was like a layer of like lighter orange on the outside. I only saw it for like 3 or 4 seconds. It kind of just like over my house, and that's it. So that was it. I mean, I did the meditations, I did the CE5, and I saw the UFO. Now, people might say, well, how do you know that that was a UFO? Well, what else could it be? You know, there's really nothing else it could be, right? What if it was a drone? What if it was a Chinese lantern? Look, I was sitting there looking right at the thing. There's nothing, it couldn't have been a drone for one. I mean, this was 2011, 2012, and drones don't look like that for two. Drones are extremely loud, and you can see the propellers. They're drones. There's obviously, it's a drone. When you see a drone, there's nothing else it could be. It's a drone. What I saw was completely different. A glowing orb, right? About the size of a car, floating. It looked kind of like it was floating on water. It kind of had like a waving motion to it, right? Like, and yeah, it just kind of hovered, floated, and it was gone. That's it. Couldn't have been a drone, couldn't have been a Chinese lantern, couldn't have been anything, because I'm sitting there looking right at it. When you look at something, you know what you're looking at. Unless you don't know what you're looking at, but then you know that you don't know that you're looking at what you know that you're looking at, right? Yeah. Well, you just heard my story. What about you? I want to hear your story. Have you ever seen a UFO? Have you ever had an experience similar to mine? Have you ever had an experience more intense than mine? I want to know everything. So go ahead and leave a comment below and just tell me your story. I want to read it. I want to hear your story. And I'm sure a lot of other people do too. I want to make this video kind of a place where people can come and hear stories about their UFO sightings, and maybe give their stories too, to kind of share, because people are deceived. People believe that these are physical beings from another planet, and we know that's not true. We know that these things are spiritual entities that come from another dimension. We know that these are the same entities that were referred to in the Bible. These are the same entities that have been referred to for thousands of years. These are demonic entities. These are ghosts. These are any spiritual being that you might have. They have the ability to make themselves look like physical things, right? So I want to hear your story. What happened? What did you see? Did you see anything? When did you see it? Go ahead and let me know. Leave a description in the comments below. All right, everybody. I want to thank you for watching this video, and until next time, God bless you all.